Hey everybody, Keena Renee here. So I'm back with another video. It's the third episode in my free game series. I'm so excited that I'm sticking to it because that's important. Today we're going to be talking about what exactly is a publicist. That is a question that definitely needs to be answered because a lot of people think they know what a publicist is and what they do, and a lot of times they don't. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you are always notified when I upload. This is going to be special, so I need you guys to watch this video all the way to the very end because you don't want to miss this free game I'm going to be giving away at the end of the video. That you'll only get it if you watch to the very end. No skipping. You know what time it is. Get your drink, get a pen, get some paper, and let's get into it. Okay, so one of the first things that I want to talk about is the exact roles of a publicist. Breaking down what exactly it is that a publicist does. Specifically, a music publicist. Number one, a publicist is there to help you as the artist articulate your music to your audience, to the media, and they help tell your story. So a publicist isn't there to sell records. A publicist is there to help you sell you. You are a brand. As an artist, you need to consider yourself as a brand, and your publicist is there to help you sell you to the media, to the public, to stakeholders, to brands, and to anybody else that you're trying to partner with in your musical journey. They're also there to protect an artist's image if anything goes down. You know what I'm saying? There's been several times where these celebrities, and especially ones that come from like social media and they get big and they get into some stuff and they don't have a publicist, and then they kind of make it worse for themselves because they out here doing stuff, not thinking like, hey, I maybe can't do that anymore because I have, a following, I have influence, and I have people looking at me now. They're there to keep you on the straight and narrow and keep you looking good in the public eye. They also act as your liaison. So as you get bigger in your career, you're gonna have brands and different people that are gonna wanna come to you to help sell their product. Your publicist is your liaison for that part of their job, because again, music publicists do not sell music, they sell people. Also, publicists, they're master writers, so they write press releases, they put together your EPKs. Whenever you're putting out music, they are there to prepare like a press rollout plan for your release. So they do a lot of different things as far as writing. A lot of times publicists do moonlight as freelance writers. I have done that for, some time, done, not necessarily do both at the same time, but I have worked as a journalist and then switched over to PR. That's very common in PR, in entertainment. Research. Like I said previously about connecting with brands, your publicist is there to help you research and identify those people who you should be working with. Who are those people that's going to help take your brand to the next level just by aligning with them? It's very important. Your brand is your business. Your brand is more valuable than your music, really, to be honest with you. Your brand is what is going to help propel you into that level that you want to be. So it's important that the person that's taking care and monitoring that, that they have done all the research, that they know exactly who you are, what you represent, and can articulate that to your audience. So now that I've talked about what a publicist does, let's talk about what a publicist doesn't do. Publicists are not booking agents. They do not book shows. They're not responsible for booking your shows. That's a whole separate job. That's not in her job description, boo. That ain't it. So, publicist is also not a A&R. They cannot get you a record deal. That is not their job description. A lot of times independent artists, they hire publicists thinking that, okay, well, she's worked with such and such, she can get me in at this label. It doesn't work like that, people. I do apologize, but it doesn't. A publicist's job, they can help get you a record deal in by elevating your brand and getting you seen in front of more people that can make A&R want to come and check you out. But as far as that being their sole responsibility, to, you know, get you into those doors at the record companies and something, nope, that ain't it either, sis. Get your song on the radio. So a lot of, I'm not sure if indie artists know, but there's such thing as a radio promoter. And what they do is they work records at radio. They're not publicists either. Publicists, we can, you know, if it's part of like a promotional run, we can set up like radio interviews and, you know, but we are not, you know, as far as actually getting your record on the radio, you know, make sure that it gets spins. That's the job of a radio promoter, and they are expensive, okay? Expensive. So all in all, as an independent artist, you really shouldn't rush into hiring a publicist unless you have, you know, a decent following. There's a lot of things that you should really take into consideration before hiring a publicist. Most of the things that a publicist does, you can totally do on your own. In a previous episode of this series, I did a whole video about how you can DIY your PR and get your music on blogs and how to pitch. So I'm going to put that in a card right up here somewhere, so you can check that out. Because honestly, having a publicist is a luxury. Our time, our expertise isn't cheap. There's a couple of things that you should have before you even think about coming to a publicist to see about hiring one to come on full time. One of the things that you should definitely have before hiring or even consider reaching out to bring on a publicist is content. And I'm not talking about just having a single done, like at least a year's worth of content that a publicist can work with, because a lot of times PR campaigns take time. There isn't no type of overnight success attached to PR. You know, it takes time and it takes a lot of work. So you have to have the content to back that up. You have to have the content so that your publicist can actually work. We can only do so much with what we're given. So if you only have one song, like, okay, I want this song on all the blogs. It's like, okay, so what's next? Do you have a video? Have you thought about trailers? Have you thought about aesthetic? Like what, like, have you done a photo shoot? Like, do we have pictures? Do we have social content to go with this? Have we thought about campaigns? It's a lot of stuff that goes with that. So content. You should also have decent numbers on social media and streaming. Now, I'm not saying you have to have millions and millions of followers or streams, but you should at least have 10,000 followers on one platform. If it's Twitter, if it's Instagram or Facebook, at least one of those platforms, you have to have a solid following. Most of the time it's going to be Instagram. That's the main platform that people look to in regards to, you know, brands and, you know, labels and all that other stuff. The first place that they go and say, how many Instagram followers do you have? Budget. Yes. For a publicist, you want to at least have a monthly budget minimum of $2,500. That's not an exaggeration. That is a fact. The more that you're able to pay a publicist, the better they are able to do their job. You know, I myself, I know how to do a lot of different things. So between design and, you know, social media management and the PR stuff, like that's a lot. And at the end of the day, you want your publicist to be on call and available to you. And you're going to have to pay that person to be on call and available to you when you need them. So minimum $2,500, got to have a budget. In addition to having a great following, you should be actively performing. Have an audience that's willing to buy or purchase your music. Like you have an audience that is bought in. That is very, very, very important because, like I stated, as an artist, you are a brand, you are a business. You have to think like that. You're not just, I know it can be difficult for independent artists coming up to understand that, but that's exactly how you're going to be viewed as a product when, if you decide to go the major label route. Especially if you independent, you really got to have that business mindset. Being able to have an audience, to put on shows, to be actively performing shows, that one, you take this very seriously, this is a career, and two, that you have an audience and people that are invested in you and your music. Last thing I want to talk about is really the biggest thing, is have a great story, have a great message. Our job is to sell you. We're not selling your music, we are selling you. We're selling you to your audience, to the people to buy your music. We're selling you to brands that may want to align with you so that you can sell their product. And we're selling you to the media. The music being great is a bonus, but really it's the artists and their story. Learning more about what they have to bring to the table, because music, this industry is oversaturated. There's so many different artists that are saying the same thing, rapping about the same stuff, singing about the same chick. You really have to have a story that makes you different and makes you stand out. So, right, so that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck around to the end like I told you to do, I am here to tell you, you will not regret it. I have an ebook that is all about music PR, and I am going to give it to you today for free. The Independent Artist Handbook for Public Relations is free. I'm going to give it to you guys just for watching this video. In it has all the tips that I listed today in this video, but it also has a list of 21 questions that you should definitely ask any publicist before you think about hiring them. So I will leave that in the description box below. I truly appreciate you guys for watching. Tune in next week for episode 4. And yeah, peace out, you guys.